Nobody likes getting a flat, but when you get one, what's your preferred method on how to change a tyre?
All right, start with the first position, and I think this is the worst position. This one here puts me in a lot of danger for crushing hazards, things like that. I'm unable to escape quickly, but let's still go through it. Now, some think that jacking off this point on the suspension to jack up compresses one wheel up enough to change is a good idea. But with a bottle jack, the 4-ton bottle jack, it only just fits under. Now, if that tyre was flat, it's going to come down, say, at least half, if not the whole way. You're not going to get a bottle jack under this safely to jack it up. And remember, it's a pivot, so the jack's not jacking straight up and down. It's a pivot, so if anything, it's kind of moving on a slight angle. So I see the argument about doing it, but I don't want to be under here trying to jack things up and kind of work in this space, even just to get it in and maybe turn it on angle and jack it up. I find that that's a bit dangerous. And the factory jack that comes with your caravan, it's just not going to get under there properly. So don't be caught out thinking you're going to throw away the factory scissor jack, carry a bottle jack, and then get to this point and go, oh, hang on, I can't jack the caravan up. So just dragged my butt out from under this caravan and realised one more thing, that if I'm jacking this wheel up, that wheel's going to take more weight. So it's actually going to sink down more as you jack this up. So you're kind of going to, the van's going to lower because of this, and this is going to come up. So you're going to end up with a wheel in a wheel arch that you're trying to kind of wrestle out with a jack on the arm. It's going to be awkward. So you're kind of moving the jack a bit as it's, you know, all compressed up in there and whatnot. All right, so my second position of jacking the caravan, and that's off the factory point right here. You see on the Jayco here, it's got an extended bracket that comes down that picks up the scissor on the caravan. This scissor allows enough room because there's extra bracket on top of the actual jack. That means it's going to make contact with the jacking point, lock in, and then start to lift the van. Whereas you'll find a lot of these bottle jacks, actually once they extend enough to reach the jacking point, or even a chassis rail that's even higher, it just can't lift high enough to get the wheel off the ground. And a positive of this is that I'm not under the van jacking. I'm working from a position away from the van, and if something does happen, a jack can collapse or whatnot, I'm not under the van, and when that happens, the worst it might do is sort of rock this way, but I'm not going to be underneath the van and get trapped. So here we are up on the ramp. I'm not sure if we've really saved ourselves much effort here. We lifted it up 100 mil just by rolling up on the ramp, but the problem is it's a ramp. It's not a flat level surface, and you're still gonna have to put a chock in somewhere to try and let it settle back into place, keep your car handbrakes on, maybe someone in the car with the brake on, handbrakes on the caravan, and then you still have to jack the caravan up. So you're still gonna have to go out and get all your gear, come out, crack your wheel nuts, and then attempt to lift the van. I can see it, like it's a good thing to save yourself that extra jacking distance, but I'm not really too sold on the point that it's not a flat level surface. And I just think that for a bit of a shortcut, that's what it is, a shortcut. And when you're starting to lift this kind of weight, I don't think a shortcut's the way to go.
Tell me your thoughts. I got an argument online about some bloke telling me how I should be changing a tyre and how I should jack the caravan up and how he scraped 100 people off the road because they've been crushed by vehicles. And I was a bit, I don't know about this guy. So the first thing I did was I deleted the thread there. I didn't even want to talk to the guy. It was just on a different social platform, and did a bit of research. And most people pointed you towards actually doing it with manufacturer-specific jacking points. But others also talked about using things like the ramps, jacking up off the suspension if you could, or my preferred method was to actually be away from the van and jacking up externally and keeping myself, as far away from any crushing hazards. Some people seem to carry, like say they'll carry an additional bottle jack. The GU comes with a bottle jack, whereas the Y62 comes with a scissor jack. So I think towing to the GU was an advantage because you had a spare heavy duty bottle jack when things go wrong, because you've got that second heavy duty bottle jack just to back you up. Let me know what you think. What's your best method to raise your caravan, and obviously do it safely, manufacturer specs, handbrakes, all that kind of stuff, wheel nuts. If you want to get into that, we might do a video on how to change a tyre with the handbrakes, that kind of stuff. But for now, it's just really about your preferred method on how to jack up your flat tyre and change that tyre safely.